Hey, Greg, I'm gonna keep it a stat with you, bit, bro. Now, I'm not gonna say who, but just know one of the members on our team was talking about bringing one of his friends uh, that identifies as a woman, and I told him that he couldn't do it, but it's different when you marry, big bro. So it's different when you marry, big bro. So I understand. Hey, I dig it.
And next time, just put a name on it.
Well, I didn't have to. You spoke for me.
It's not different when you marry. Apparently, this trip is no women allowed, all gambling. So withdraw your savings. Because we trying to leave that whole rich.
Nah, on God. And to be honest, I feel like we should have a rule that whoever hit got to give everybody a piece of what they've hit for. Or that's just
what?
That's just not a good rule.
No, that's a terrible rule.
Dylan, it definitely was Terrence.
Imagine if I walk downstairs at a hotel and hit for 500 racks. What you think I'm gonna do?
Shit, honestly, break me off with 20,000. That's all I would ask for. I don't feel like that's too much to ask.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk back up to my room quietly, pack my shit.
You're missing. boy. All right, I think we got the. All right. Send this out. I'm tired.
Yeah, 20 is crazy, right, Shamik?
Out off of 500,000? That's crazy.
20? Are you? What do you mean, nigga? Is that crazy?
Off of 500,000, bro.
20?
Off of 500,000?
Nigga, you act like that makes me rich or something.
Bro, that's $500,000, bro.
I can find plenty. I can
shit off of $500,000.
I can find ways to get rid of that before I leave out of Vegas.
Well, then that's something that you need to discuss with somebody, because that's a problem. That's a problem. If you can do that, then that's an issue. No cap.
Yeah, nah. Yeah, you can't get 20. I give you about a band or two. I'll cover your trip costs, like Dylan said.
Well, my trip costs ain't gonna be a no band. My shit gonna be way more than that. I already told you where I'm staying. Hey, Greg, I'm staying at the MGM, bro. Either the MGM or Caesar's Palace. One of the two. I'm trying to decide right now, but yeah, it's gonna be like that. Hey, if y'all on YouTube, appreciate y'all for being here. Let me know if y'all can hear Terrence when he's talking in the background. I haven't quite figured out how to run the conjunction of running the Instagram live through YouTube and shit like that, so we've been doing it this way. If you're watching on IG, appreciate you being here. Last episode of the year.
What's good, Nelson?
Shamik, I don't think 20K is crazy, bro.
It is.
Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. If you and your boys go to Vegas, and one of your boys hit for 500K, is it too much to ask for your boy to give you 20,000? Yes or no?
Yes. When he got
put it in the chat, man. Put it in the chat. You said what?
He got a family at home, and I'm gonna give you 20K.
Nigga, you don't got no family at home. Like, what are you talking about? No family that you're financially responsible for.
Nigga, I ain't financially responsible for you, so why the fuck would I give you 20K?
Just
if I give you anything, you should be thankful.
Yeah, that's true. Wiz would give me 5K or 20K.
Yeah, I mean,
what's good, man? Oh man, let me make sure I got my notes. Let's get started, man. We had a lot of things to go through. Not even a couple. First and foremost,
Wow.
Top
Wow.
favorite is out. Oh, they said you
Now
greedy.
I'm greedy. If I'm not the one winning, hell yeah, I take.
Facts. Hey, facts.
Are
That's
you
what I'm
gonna
trying to
return
tell
the
them, bro.
favor though? Are you gonna return the favor?
Of
Because I
course.
wouldn't even ask for 20 racks. I wouldn't even ask for 20 racks. That's just crazy to me.
Yeah, 20 racks is a good deal. That's what I'm saying. Bless your brother. That's like, so you don't even got to worry about going to the storehouse. Because you give me 20 racks, then you already about, I don't even know percentages like that, but God only asked for 10. So if you give me about 3.5, 4% of it, you only got to give God 6.
I ain't even. Let's move on.
See, he's not even going to taunt. See.
Wow.
See,
Wow.
hey, let's move on.
Oh,
Hey, let's get the
so
podcast started.
you in the church putting money in the offering plate every Sunday?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Hell no.
Okay.
You can't finesse me. My boy TD say, have you ever been swallowed? Hey, my nigga, have you ever been swallowed up? Hey, I said, oh yeah, he's freaky. I said, yeah, he's different. He definitely been partying with Diddy a little bit. Hey, let's get into it, man. Appreciate everybody for being here. Got a couple special guests that will be joining us today, as well as some other folks that are, supporters and things of that nature that's been rocking with us throughout the year, that we're going to let hop on stage a little bit later on in the show. But yeah, man, I guess the first thing we need to hit on, first and foremost, if you don't already, make sure you follow the Instagram page currently that we're on at For Panthers Fans Only. Subscribe to the YouTube at the G2S Network. The Twitter is FPFO_podcast. Just change that. And TikTok, you can find us at For Panthers Fans Only as well. Appreciate everybody for being here. Scott Fitterer is gone. That's where I want to start. That's where the notes take me. I posted my picture, man. Me and Uncle Scott posted up at the draft party. It's crazy how a couple months will change your whole perspective on somebody. Nasty work from him. I'm not gonna lie to you, but how are you feeling, Terrence, about Scott Fitterer's departure?
I feel amazing. Because it's something that, well, I've been trying to tell you for months. You was giving Scott Fitterer a lot of this credit early on when I was telling you, if you're gonna give him that much credit, then he deserves just as much as the blame when shit starts to hit the fan. And for whatever reason, you didn't want him to take the fall for any of it. I don't know what he said to you at the draft party. I don't know what y'all talked about. I guess that little picture must have, had you feeling a little different. But I mean, I've been calling for this for weeks now, months now, actually. So I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy to start a new GM search. I've seen that we've been hitting up a lot of teams, asking to interview their assistant GMs and things of that sort. So I don't really know much about the GMs around the league. So I mean, I'm interested to see how this is going to go. I'm very uneducated when it comes to those guys. So we'll see.
I have a name that I want already. Bro from the Cowboys, player personnel guy from the Cowboys. Mike McConnell, if I'm not mistaken, is his name. I thought I had the list of everybody that we had interviewed up until this point, or not interviewed, but requested to interview.
So I got the coaches list.
Yeah, I have the coaches list as well. I thought I had the. I guess I don't have. Let me check and see. Mike McConnell, I think is his name.
I seen somebody on that list who was president of football operations. So I'm assuming that don't mean he's going in that direction. Like he's gonna hire one of them and a GM, right? Or you think he's just pulling him up to be a GM?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. That's we know what we need. We know we need a somebody over a player personnel operations, football operations as a whole. We know we need one of those, and we know we need a GM. So I mean, a lot of these interviews, I'm not sure in what capacity they're being requested, but I know what we need again. I'm 100% familiar with that. And at the end of the day, when Frank Wright got fired, I told everybody put a halt on the celebration. Point that, you obtain those guys that you're going to bring in officially. So, it's one of those places where it's very, very unfortunate that we're having to deal with this yet again. I want to say that this is going to be our second head coaching search in the same amount of years. I think that this is our third head coaching search since Dave Tepper has been owner. So it's it's a tough position to be in, but hopefully we're heading in the right direction. But it's hard to kind of see the light at the end of that tunnel when at the end of the day you don't own the right to your first round pick, and that's something that we've talked about on multiple occasions. The past, really, pretty much for the whole season on FPFO, we've been talking about how the Carolina Panthers don't have their first round pick and how some of the decisions that were made throughout the year or throughout the offseason leading up to this point in the season has been relatively questionable. You go all the way back and you look at the departure of Christian McCaffrey, and then you look at, the debacle with the Rams and not accepting the 2 first-round picks for Brian Burns and not getting a deal done with him. And then, deal or contract talks immediately halt. The constant debate that will always be there between CJ and Bryce and what role Scott played in, putting his 2 cents in on who we should draft in that situation. Steve Wilkes debacle. So it's just a lot. It's a lot going on, and there's a lot of things that, unfortunately, I think that Scott Fitterer took a couple of gambles on, a couple of risks, and unfortunately, I think that he failed for the overwhelming majority, if I'm just being honest. So that's where we're at.
Yeah, I do have this list here. Now, I know you said something about the Cowboys, somebody from the Cowboys, but I don't see their name on this list unless they were added today, but this is a list from a day ago. So we have the Giants assistant GM, Buccaneers assistant GM, Chiefs vice president of football operations, Eagles assistant GM, Saints assistant GM, Ravens vice president of football administration, Colts assistant GM, and Raiders interim GM. Which I don't want anybody from the Saints. I don't know why. I mean, fuck those guys. I don't want anybody from there. I don't want anybody from the Bucs either. Honestly, I don't want anybody to come within the division. I don't know why. I just don't. I want somebody who has some history with winning franchises. And as far on this list, I mean, I'm not very familiar with these guys, but if I had to just go based off of their teams, it's only a couple of names on here.
And who would that be? The Bengals guy. Who was the Bengals? What was his position currently?
Yes, he just got added to the list because this list is from a day ago. So maybe I don't have the updated list, but based on this list would be the Eagles assistant GM, the Ravens vice president of football administration, and probably the Chiefs vice president of football operations. I mean, these other guys ain't really won shit. But I don't know how that makes them look as a GM in the long run. But, I mean, if I just had to go based off the success of their teams, then those are the guys who have a more promise and,
I feel it. So with that being said, is Dan Morgan completely off of that list, seeing as though, he was there with Scott and he hasn't really experienced any success. Now, he is a Panthers legend and whatever the fuck the case may be. But is Dan Morgan off of that list for you, even with his name being thrown onto that list as well?
Yeah, said previously, I don't think that it should come from anybody in-house over these past couple of years. And that might be selfish, but I think when you're in this much of a rebuild, you have to go reach from the outside, because you are more likely to find a guy who is going to come in and move all of the bad baggage. He's going to move them out because he doesn't have any ties to anybody in the house, so he's not feeling sorry for you, not feeling any sympathy, not upset that you're losing your job. So I think you have to grab a guy from the outside. So unfortunately, Dan Morgan wouldn't be in that conversation for me.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I totally agree. I think that with how close, and I think that it may have been, for me personally, it may have been a bit different perspective. Had I not seen the blueprint and had I not seen how close Dan Morgan and Scott Fitterer seem to work together, whether it be the draft process, whether it be through hiring certain coaches, whether it be through, obtaining certain free agent talent. If I didn't know that Dan Morgan was so hands-on and so close with some of the decisions that were being made, while Scott Fitterer was present, then maybe I would go for it. But because that's the case, and because that's not the case, and because I do know how close, you know, Dan Morgan was on some of the decisions that were made this offseason, then for me it's just completely a no go.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
No.
And
We're gonna go ahead and bring up Dunk, if you can send him the request, because I would love to get his feedback on just some of the names that have been thrown out there in regards to the interview process from the GM standpoint as well as the coach standpoint. So if we could get him up here, that'd be great. Get some of his feedback, see what he got to say. Appreciate y'all for all being here, man. Tapping in with us for the show.
I sent it to you, Dunk. Let me know if you got it. Yeah, I mean, that blueprint was terrible. The blueprint in itself was good, but I mean, just the shit they did in the blueprint holds no validity.
Well, I mean, from a marketing standpoint, they did what they needed to do.
Yeah, but based on
they made me buy PSLs.
Yeah, but based on the way the season went, I mean, they can ball that blueprint up and throw that bitch in the trash.
Dunk, goody, man.
Fellas, I ain't out here tripping, man. What's going on with y'all?
How you doing, brother?
Talking about the blueprint?
Yeah, hey, the blueprint. Hey, I don't care what nobody say. The blueprint made me go on my damn ticket. They had me sold, boy. Yeah.
It was some good propaganda. You know what I'm saying? It was some good propaganda. But I don't believe nothing that come out of Panthers.com no more. Because they told us that this was Thomas Brown made the playbook, but Frank Reich was just going to call the plays. And then they told us that it was Frank Reich playbook, but it looked like Frank Reich playbook. And then it ended up looking like Thomas Brown playbook. So anything that comes from Panthers.com, I'm really not believing no more, to be honest. So,
fair enough. I totally understand that for sure. I wanted to get some of your feedback on some of the names that you've been seeing as it pertains to the general manager search as well as the head coaching search. Now, me and Terrence didn't really get into the head coach search, but I just wanted to kind of see, where your brain was in regards to some of the names that we've been seeing. Now, the list is extensive from what I've seen. I've seen 10 names on both lists. But who are some of the guys that are sticking out to you, and who are some of the guys that you think would be a good fit for, the current situation that we're in?
I mean, we need Jesus, to be honest.
Yeah.
Nah, but for real. I mean, the thing about the GMs, man, like, only thing you can really judge them on is, like, okay, what kind of roster moves are the team doing? Because you never really know what role these dudes be playing in the front office. You know what I'm saying? Like, Scott Fitterer was our GM, but they kept talking about this collaborative thing. But at the end of the day, I think that's what got him fired. I think he tried to be too buddy, too agreeable, You need to have somebody that's the head guy that's going to say, hey, this is the type of prospects we're looking for. We want big offensive linemen. We got a short quarterback. We need to go get some guards that are 300 plus pounds with this around the arm length. Go find that type. It seemed like everybody was too, oh, this is an open door policy type stuff, whatever. Now, you need someone that knows what they're doing, has a vision, is on the same page with the coach, and they execute that vision. They know what they're looking for. Not know, okay, let's gamble on these traits. Let's drip Brandon Smith. He's 250 pounds running 4-4. Let's just go draft him, and maybe we can coach him up. But then you fire the coach. So we can't be making these type of decisions. We just need somebody to be on the same page. Now, as far as what team, I know Terrence ain't trying to deal with nobody from the division, but look, as long as we're not in salary cap hell, I'm cool with somebody from the Saints. You know what I'm saying? Apparently, Buddy worked for the league office. He was the one consulting with teams, telling them what you can and can't do with contracts, which is why the Saints be negative $100 million in cap space to turn around. Now, granted, I don't want to ever get to that point, but if you can pull that type of voodoo, I'm not opposed to that because
Like something.
Is that what?
That almost seemed like something illegal was going on in that organization.
Bro, come on, man. They're laundering money and stuff. Because we gotta be bank on it. So it's really about if you have the cash to play with, you can make these type of moves and just make the accounting and stuff work on the numbers. That's kind of what. So you got somebody that worked in the league office like him. Not to mention, I mean, he's a brother too, so I'm cool with that. But I'm not opposed to anybody. I mean, you're really not gonna find out what type of dude these guys are until they get here. Now the coach, we can. That's the one thing we can kind of make a decision on. Like I said, I haven't talked about it yet, but as long as we in lockstep with the GM and the owner, I really don't mind working both sides. And we already knew they were going to cast a wide net. They do that every time. And he got this consultant firm he's working with. He's probably trying to get his money's worth. You know what I'm saying? It makes sense finally. Instead of trying to lead the search yourself and then wasting money on a coach that's not even coaching you no more the next year, just pay somebody else to help you find it. You know what I'm saying? That way you're not paying coaches to go away. You're getting to pay somebody to help you make the right choice. So it was a logical move, and I hate to really applaud this dude for doing stuff that makes sense because this is basic stuff. Like the fact that we have to apply him for doing logical stuff is annoying, but this is kind of the situation that we in, and he bought the team, and he ain't going nowhere. So
red flag.
Bro, exactly.
It's a red flag.
And the Dan Morgan thing, man, to me, it's two sides of the same coin. Like you said, the closeness between him and Scott hasn't been rubbed in the wrong way. He spent some time in Buffalo, obviously. In Buffalo, they built a decent team with Josh Allen. A lot of people thought he was going to be a bust because he was real risky coming out. So they put the system in place. They got him where he wants to be, one of the top quarterbacks in the league now. They made moves. They got Diggs. They put together a good defense. So he's been around that type of stuff. Like I said, you just don't know what extent these guys have. And I understand he's a legend. I don't want to be disrespectful, but I'm really don't want anybody to have any kind of reference there. I don't know.
Exactly. And so it's not no disrespect, and dog, we give it up a little bit different. It ain't no disrespect to Dan Morgan and the legend is, bro. But I'm tired of seeing losing shit as product. I need somebody that's gonna come in, establish the culture, whether it be the head coach or support the culture by the prospects that we obtain in the GM, and get shit going back in the right direction. I love Dan Morgan just like the next guy, but you were too close to Scott, and based on the fact that we dub Scott, just by process of elimination, you got to go as well.
And hear him say, he may be a big part of this transition. Like Joe Person wrote in one of his articles, he may be a part of the transition of going from one thing to that. Sounds too much like what he tried to do with Marty Hurney, because he got rid of Ron, but wanted to keep Marty around for a year. And granted, Rule had final say so, and Marty actually could make some picks at the top of the draft. But it just don't make sense. It seemed like you half-stepped it. We needed a clean house. Now, I think the website said it's the first time we've started looking for a GM and a coach at the same time since 2002. So it's not even a Temple problem. This is just a franchise problem that's been happening. We've always been half-stepping with this type of stuff. So we needed a complete reset. So make it a complete reset. Don't run it back with whatever off the vibes of keep pounding. You know what I'm saying? I love that. You know what I'm saying? I love what he did on the field. He was a legend. But this is business now. You know what I'm saying? This is not, we're not playing with heartstrings. This is business at this point. So I would feel like it's a side step. It's a step we made. We made some steps in the right direction. I have no problem with any of the candidates, GM wise thus far. Nothing screams out red flag. Coaches as well. I know people don't like Dan Quinn like that, but everybody, he's really the only retread per se. Everybody else seems like, okay, I can understand the thought process behind where they're at, and they don't seem like bad candidates. Obviously, I think we all know who the ball head dude is going to be focused on, but I don't hate any of the prospects they've actually thrown out there. You know what I'm saying? Now, so we'll see. Because I think they probably have one more, unless the dude from the Bucs, his last name is Canellis. I don't know if he's a minority or not, but they may got one more minority interview to do. Well, so it's still makes some time.
You know, Dave ain't really trying to go for that for real.
He just got to check that box. I don't really think he cares about checking the box because everybody in their mama know he won't Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Whatever fine they're going to make him pay for skipping the Rooney Rule.
Yeah. Gee, that's the thing. That's the problem that we had like last week, because we were saying that. That's why I think that consulting firm thing is I think it's a stunt, because it's like, why would you go and proclaim that you want Ben Johnson? You're so high on Ben Johnson weeks ago before the season even ended, and now all of a sudden the season ended and you want to hire a consulting firm to help you look for a head coach. So I more so feel like he wants us to seem like he's doing his due diligence by the franchise by exhausting all options, when in reality we know who he wants. But I think that he would be doing us a disservice, himself a disservice, if he didn't do a full lengthy process, because I seen something was like, this is like one of the most loaded free agent head coaches classes ever, damn near.
And you see why some teams they were kind of dragging their feet about firing their coach. You know what I'm saying? You know, some us we got ready during the season, but the Titans, they're looking around, they're like, hey, some decent dudes out here. Like, if we're not all in on our coach, let's go ahead and take this shot, because it ain't too many. And granted, there's no like dream jobs out there. Everything has plus and minuses. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we got a crazy owner, so people think we're at the bottom, but I think we actually a fairly competitive job if you know what you're doing and you know what you want and you set the record straight, and if you man enough to be able to stand up to temper, you'll be fine. I'm saying you got your rookie quarterback on that contract. You got some pieces on defense that's competitive. You're probably gonna have one of the better defensive coordinators in the league, because I haven't seen Jiro get any requests so far. So he's still in the contract. He may be back. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna get some vets back. The core on defense is there outside. You got to figure out what you want to do with Burns, but you got JC and VP another year. You got to ink Frankie. That's gonna be the tough part, but for the most part, you got the bones of a decent competitive defense. You just got to figure things out on offense. And so, if it's not a terrible job as things, some people think you just got to get past that owner. And I think that's why he's going through these steps, like Terrence said. Like, he's more like, he's not supposed to waste money. So he can easily go through all these steps with a consulting firm and just not listen to them at all. I would not be surprised by David Tepper. At this point, bro, there's nothing he does will surprise me. So it's his actions are really gonna matter over this. We'll learn pretty quickly. I think the Lions could be one and done. I think people are sleeping on the Rams, so we could be hearing about Ben Johnson getting on that jet within the next 5-10 days. You know what I'm saying? And then he's got a couple other interviews, of course, but he's the hometown kid. Tepper has not been shy about it. He's been talking to his agent for months. It's the worst kept secret in the NFL that it's potential. And I think people are saying that Ben Johnson would never go there, but like we're hearing all these reports of him talking to former coaches. We all know who they probably was, asking about David Tepper. If you weren't interested and you thought this dude was that crazy, why would you still be doing your due diligence? So I think the door is still open. There's some other opportunities out there, but I think that door is open. He's gonna get he's gonna get all the money that he wants. He's gonna be close to home. He's gonna have a young quarterback, like I said, and just be able to really have all the resources he needs if he wants it. And he's got all the leverage on Tepper. You know Tepper wants him. So if he makes any kind of demands, tell him to fall back, Tepper could honor that. Or if he works together and tries to pull that San Francisco card and be like, hey man, we got our GM, give me 6 years, minimum of 3. and then whatever, because there's worse owners that have gotten good coaches. I mean, the Texans, after having done 2 black coaches back to back, they still end up in Miko.
Yep.
And what they get, the playoffs. The playoffs.
Yep.
So it's still, and like I said, they're all owners are bad in my opinion. It's like the way they operate and do business. They all do bad business personally. You know what I'm saying? But we just gotta see what happens, man. This next hire is gonna be huge. But we just need a GM that can hit on day 2 picks. I don't think we hit on a day 2 pick that's become like a Pro Bowler since Taylor Moore. And that was like what? I don't even know what year that was.
Nah.
We're just cashing out too many times. Meanwhile, the Ravens got D2 picks, 3 picks that are going to Pro Bowls. So you can't build your roster off only hitting on first round picks. So we're gonna have to hit on day 2 and 3 picks anyway. So I'm not even really tripping on not having the first. It sucks, but we weren't gonna be good anyway unless we started hitting on picks after the first round anyway. So
yeah,
that's just kind of where I'm at overall. But
sure.
not gonna happen fast, in my opinion.
Facts. I got two quick questions for you, bro, and then I'll let you go.
Okay.
All right. My first one, besides Chicago, now this was a tough season for every team. We know the ups and downs, head coach, like that. We saw, the I guess you could say semi-viral within the Panthers Twitter community with different people turning in their fan transfer portal paperwork in. So I want to ask you, because I assume, they say you shouldn't assume, but I'm going to do it. I'd assume at some point or another, the thought may have crossed your mind that, you can just sneak off and go elsewhere. So did that happen for you as far as you, like, possibly considering giving this shit up and being like, I can't take it no more with this organization? And B, what point in the season did that come, if it did come, in fact?
Nothing during the season really bothered me because, like, to me, we've been trash more than we've been good. But, like, I'll let you know that witnessing all these bad years, going to that Super Bowl, it made the ups make the downs, like, going through the downs make the ups feel that much better. So, like, that year that we had, like, literally knowing every week we won, or we were probably going to win, or we knew we had a chance to win, those type of things, they're rare. So it makes you really appreciate that. The one thing that almost broke me, and honestly, I know how I feel about training camp, was them closing out on Wofford and doing it up in Charlotte. Granted, I know y'all in North Carolina, but Charlotte's not really as close to y'all either. But, like, it just feels like every step of the way he just turned his back on the state of South Carolina. And now I'm not even a resident of South Carolina anymore, but I was born and raised there. And Wofford is one of my earliest memories of the team. You know what I'm saying? I remember when the Falcons was doing training camp at Furman too. So I was going to both when I was younger. But it just feels like every step he's trying to erase South Carolina. He keeps saying it's 2 states, 1 team thing, but it's just apathy towards the state of South Carolina. And I understand he tried to put the headquarters there, so he's probably a little bit sour about that, and it has to do more with some of the politicians there. But at the same time, I think his effort to try to get rid of Jerry Richardson, he's really burned a lot of bridges. And I don't think the voices and the people in South Carolina are loud enough for the pain and that resentment to be heard. Because obviously the team is in Charlotte, so there's a heavy concentration of fans there, but there's a heavy concentration in South Carolina and North Carolina in general. So that's kind of really what had me pissed off. But that, it wasn't really anything about the game win or loss, because those wins and losses happen. It's the NFL. The reason why I watch it is because we could be trash one year, but completely turn around. We got 2 teams that picked the top 3 with us that played winner take all for the playoffs game this past weekend. One's going to the playoffs. So the NFL can change quick. All it takes is one good off season and getting lucky, and you can turn things around. So wins and losses never going to return me. It's just the off the field behavior by the owner when he's something that can't change. Because we can pick and fence all we want about coaches and GMs being fired, but that owner not gonna fire himself. So that's kind of really what put me on the edge.
Fair enough. And then my last question for you, bro, and then I'll let you go. I saw something on Twitter. I don't even know who put it out, but it was a very thought-provoking question for me, and I wanted to get your feedback on it. With the current situation that the Carolina Panthers are in, with rookie quarterback heading into a second year, Bryce Young, and then the experimentation, I guess that you could say, we suffered through with Frank Reich. Do you think it's more important to bring in an offensive-minded guy, say a guy from one of those freaky trees, like the McDaniels tree or like the Shanahan tree, whatever we may have you? Or do you think it's more important to bring in a guy that's going to reestablish the culture that we feel like as a fan base we're currently missing?
I mean, if this year taught you anything, man, you gotta have somebody that can do the culture. And then like a good head coach can identify quality assistants. And if somebody comes and hires away an offensive guy, that means something went right. Worrying about, I don't want to hire a defensive guy because they just gonna hire my offensive coordinator. That's first world problems. We have not been good enough to be worried about what's gonna happen when stuff goes good. Like, let's get stuff going good first before we worry about what's gonna happen when things go good. So I want the right guy. I don't really care white, black, brown, Puerto Rican, Haitian. I don't care the offense, defense, special teams. Get the right guy, man. And just get somebody that knows what they're doing, that's comfortable in themselves, that guys want to play for. Everybody always says leader of men. That's fine. We want to throw that in there too. But I don't care how old or young he is, man. I want somebody with some juice that we can get behind and believe in, and like you said, that can bring some culture back and bring some identity back. Because we're still very a young franchise, so there's still things that we can still establish going forward that can really stamp our name in the league. So I just want somebody that's going to come in and change the culture. Because, like I said, look at D'Amico, man. I know people want to give Cheryl this credit, but D'Amico is that dude. Like, he got these dudes playing. Bro.
Yes, sir.
Like, you can see it on the field, man. You can see the energy. You can see the energy from him on the sideline. He's from the Shanahan tree, but he ain't no offensive guy.
Right.
So it's about that, man. You see the Dan Campbell. See, he a guy that keeps it real. He's risky. He's a ballsy coach. He goes for it on fourth down. People, like teams and players, can respect that. They can get behind that. They like that. They like when they coach have confidence in them like that because they know how they get there during the week. And that's just me. I think good assistants, good head coaches can hire assistants. Look at Harbaugh with the Ravens. He been there for forever, got a Super Bowl ring, has had a revolving door at times and not a revolving door. He's had to change, re-identify the Ravens from the Ray Lewis Ravens to now you still have your defense, but now you got Lamar Jackson. You don't have that Flacco. You're a run-heavy team that throws the ball around. Now you go from that run-heavy team to now you got Tom Munkin from college from Georgia. You got to hire somebody from there. He's not young, but he's coming in now. He's had a stint in the league, but he's creative. He reinvented himself, doing certain things with Lamar Jackson, just knowing what to do with the talent that you have. I don't need you to have a system. I want you to look at our players, identify the strengths, and lean into that. That's kind of what Mike McDaniels did in Miami. He's watching him on Hard Knocks. He's a really cool, laid-back, chill dude. He has a different approach, but his system don't look like Shanahan's system like that. He's innovating different stuff that Shanahan took from him. You know what I'm saying? So, like, he's just creative enough to put all the speed around Tua, and I think, okay, this is Tua's strengths. Let's go get a bunch of speed and put that around him. Shanahan don't do that. Shanahan goes at it a little bit different. There's more than one way to skin a cat, man. We ain't got to keep going. It's going to go to the same tree or go to whatever. You can still win football games different ways, man. The league's going to keep changing, so let's just get somebody that's going to be able to change with it and be successful.
For sure. Well, man, I appreciate you, Terrence. You got anything, or you good, or how you feel?
Nah, yeah, appreciate you stopping by, but yeah, I agree. I agree with all of that. It's about finding the right guy, and until we do that, but that has to start with Dave Tepper moving out of the way.
Yes, sir.
So,
get out the way. Yeah.
Oh, sure.
We can tell him. I mean, we got a direct line to him. What's bro name from Twitter? That's him.
Matthew Argo, I think.
Yeah, that's Dave, bro. No cap. I don't care if nobody say that. Bro. He be
so mad too. People call him.
Oh God. Well, I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. If y'all don't already, make sure you go check out Aaron Duncan Instagram at Dunk on Demand. Check him out on YouTube at Unnecessary Bluntness. One of the best creators in the space, if not the best, in my opinion. Very inspirational. Love everything that he does. So shout out to him. Dunk came out to Chicago with us, made a trip out of it. That was
Hey,
favorite.
Vegas, you going to Vegas 2024?
Vegas
Germany, somewhere.
2024.
You know,
Hey, it's 2024. It's locked. For
greatest
sure.
game.
For sure, man. But I appreciate you, brother. We'll talk soon.
All
All right.
All right.
Terrence, I want to go ahead and tell you who I want. GM,
Head coach.
yeah, GM and head coach. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the record right now. GM, I want bro from Dallas because I was looking at. I forget. I saw it on Twitter again. I don't screenshot enough stuff.
Who is?
Saw it on Twitter again. I saw the people, some of the players that he was responsible for bringing in. The list is expensive. Let's just say that. Headlined by CeeDee Lamb and Michael Parsons. Now, obviously, we don't know what kind of pull he has, etc. But he was a part of the football operations that would bring in those guys in with the title of vice president of player operations or player personnel, whatever it may be. He was a part of it. I want him, and for my head coach, I want Jim Harbaugh. I want Jim Harbaugh. I think we all seen the report that Jim Harbaugh still had interest in coaching in the NFL, number one, in the Carolina Panthers, number two. However, it was being reported and rumored that Dave Tepper halted the conversations because of the amount of power and control that he would have to give up with a talent like Jim Harbaugh. I think, to me, that's completely soft. I think if Dave Tepper wants to start winning football games, like you just mentioned, he needs to move out of the way, and he needs to let somebody else take over the reins and let football guys be football guys at the end of the day. So give me Jim Harbaugh, give me bro from Dallas, and let's go build some.
That guy you're talking about is Will McClay.
There we go. What did I call the nigga? Mike McConnell? I don't know where I got that name. I don't know where I got that name from. Will McClay. Thank you.
He's a brother?
Yeah, yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Okay. I mean, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at Jim Harbaugh. Honestly, I'm not gonna say you can't go wrong, because you can go wrong in this situation. But I mean, there's a lot of good candidates to choose from when it comes to picking a GM and a head coach. There's a lot more to choose from than it was last year. Now, whether or not Dave is gonna choose the right person, then that's another story. But there is a lot to choose from. So the guys like a Ben Johnson, a Jim Harbaugh, who are other guys that we're looking at? I would say even the Mike I don't know how to pronounce the nigga name. Mike
Vrabel.
Yeah, that nigga. I don't think you can go wrong with any of those guys, but I mean, I think it all comes down to preference. I think it comes down to preference. And I know we said that with the quarterback situation, and unfortunately, CJ Stroud looks like the better quarterback, but I mean, I don't want to open up a can of worms, but I just feel like, he looks like the better quarterback, but I also I don't feel like Bryce is a bust right now. So he needs more time and more weapons. I think that we can still win with him in the future, but I think that's kind of the same situation with this head coaching search. Now, if Dave Tepper goes and gets somebody from, I don't even know who the fuck, if it's another Matt Rule signing type deal, then I mean, I'm done. Like, if he goes out and gets a nigga like Kellen Moore, whose name ain't even on the list. Now, if he messes it up that bad,
what I already tell niggas, I've been prepping everybody for about a month. I already said if Kellen Moore, and who was the other one?
Yeah,
it was one more. Kellen Moore, and I can't remember who the other one was. But I said if he bring either of those two dudes in, I'm getting my tattoo covered. Niggas can have my memorabilia, everything, because I will be completely done with the organization.
I'm trying to figure out what. Who was it, Dylan? Because I know I said somebody. I don't even. It was Kellen Moore and fucking.
I can't remember who it was, bro, but I just remember his name now.
Bro from the Chargers.
Oh yeah, Brandon Staley.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hey, if we bring either one of them in here, hey, Shamik, send me your address, bro. I got a lot of memorabilia. Greg, send me your address. I'm getting rid of all of them. No, just to kind of round off the conversation here, here's a couple of names. Let me see. This screenshot was taken at 10:20 last night, so take that, for what it is, because I'm sure the list has updated and it has changed. But here are some of the names that are on the list that the Panthers have requested to interview when the time is appropriate and fitting based on league regulations. Ben Johnson obviously sitting at the top of that list. The Texans offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick, Bengals offensive coordinator Brian Callahan, Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn, Ravens defensive coordinator Mike McDonald, Dolphins offensive coordinator Frank Smith, Rams defensive coordinator Raheem Morris, the Ravens offensive coordinator as well, Todd Monken, and Buccaneers offensive coordinator Dave Canals, I guess you could say. I'm pretty sure that's the coach in which I'm going to say I already put on record who I want, hands down. I want Jim Harbaugh. But just do the due diligence. Like, I don't want him to just completely sold on Ben Johnson and just shit everybody out of their opportunity. If they come in and they present a better plan and they, their resume may be a little bit better or whatever the case may be, give everybody their due diligence, give everybody their fair shot, and let's come out with the best guy. That's the way I'm feeling right now at this point, just because the carousel is exhausting, and I'm just tired of having this conversation every offseason at this point. It seems like over the last 2 off seasons, heading into number 3, we've been having the same conversation. So it's exhausting.
And I don't have a top candidate right now.
Okay.
I know
you see, you like trying to do that. You like trying to slow play everything. Go ahead and jump out the window, man. Tell people who you want.
I don't know, bro. I genuinely don't know. I don't know.
Okay. I respect it. Let me see. If you guys have any questions, comments that y'all want us to touch on, you can drop them in the chat for sure. Appreciate everybody tuning in and being.
What, Shamik?
What he said. Someone
I'll take
off the Tupper for some things I honestly do. I'm not gonna lie. I might need an explanation because I just don't understand how you can take any of the blame off him when he's been responsible for everything that has occurred. Nobody told him to bring in Matt Rule for a 7-year, $80+ million deal. Nobody told him to draft Bryce Young. Nobody told him to build it the way he currently has. Nobody told him to bring in Scott Fitterer after having a tad bit of success.
Frank Reich.
Yeah, nobody told you to bring in Frank Reich after he had already got fired not too long ago in the middle of the season. Nobody told this guy to do these things and to make these things pop and make these things. So I'm not taking any of the blame off of anybody that has been a part of this organization, and specifically not Dave Tepper. He has to be held responsible. And that's just a fact of the matter. Brantley, what's good? Baby, appreciate you rocking out with us. Let me see where we want to go next. I have a couple more topics that I want to touch on. Shout out to Derrick Brown. Afternoon against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Derrick Brown did become the defensive line defensive lineman with the most tackles in NFL history. So shout out to him. Huge accomplishment. We talked about it on the podcast last week. It was really embarrassing that Derrick Brown didn't make the Pro Bowl. And if he's not an All-Pro this year, then I'm going to know that the NFL don't stand on business.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I took the stance that you damn near need to take the fan votes out. Because I'll be honest, y'all don't know shit. Not saying y'all, but a lot of fans don't really know shit, bro. Because there's no way that you look at those numbers and the nigga literally stamped his name in the history books and you don't vote him in the Pro Bowl. Like, to me, that's bullshit.
That's nasty.
I gotta you gotta take the fan voting out. The Pro Bowl is bullshit anyway. So, I mean, you can do away with that shit for all I care. I see one of the questions: what side of the ball do y'all feel needs the most attention this offseason? Definitely the offense, for sure.
Yeah, no question. And to me, it kind of goes off of what JB was asking. What's your best opinion to make our offense better next season? Who can we get? What can we do? I think hands down, it's about the offense and bringing weapons to surround Bryce Young. No question, it's the offense. Now, obviously, there are going to be question marks on the defensive side of the ball as well because we don't know who's being brought back. We don't know if Derrick Brown is going to get his. We don't know if Brian Burns is going to get his contract. We don't know if Frankie Louvu will still be a Carolina Panther. We don't know what Jerry Chin is going to do, whether he'll decide to test the free agent waters or something. So it's a lot of questions, but I think just based on what we saw this season, the offense is inevitably the side of the football that you have to address. And I think the first thing that you do is move Ikem Ekwonu to guard, in which case you would have to find another tackle. I don't give a damn if you bring in 15 of them to start training camp. We got to find the best guy for that position. And then the second thing you do, which is a very, very close first, or close to being first, in my opinion, is trying to figure out what weapon or two we need to bring in. So if it's Hollywood, if it's Calvin Ridley, if it's T. Higgins, Michael Pittman, I don't care. I just need them signed as soon as the window opens to sign free agents. I need them signed and on the way to Charlotte as soon as it opens.
Mike Evans.
What I just experienced this year.
And I would say as far as the defense goes, yeah, all of those things are in question. Those names are a lot of names that could potentially be on that out next year, YGM as well. But I think what EJ was able to do with these more so a no-name niggas like fucking Alex Cook, Sam Franklin is very good on special teams, but he had to get a lot of snaps. Guys like Troy Hill, who came in to produce, like, I think that the defense will be solid. Like, I think the defense will be solid. You definitely have to go offense first, and I think it will be getting a receiver. JJ, your shit froze.
Am I good?
Yeah, you back now.
Okay. Yeah. T. Higgins is very, very high on that priority list to me. I wouldn't say that coming into the season. I've seen a lot of talk about him like very, very early, but I won't say that I really thought that he would be that much of an impact player. But as the season went on this year with Cincinnati and they dealt with some of the injuries that they did, obviously the Joe Burrow and then Jamar Chase was here and there, all on and off the injury reports sporadically throughout the year. Just the way he stepped up when those guys were down to help support his team. T. Higgins to me is, I'm not gonna lie, he made me a believer. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say that might need to be the guy. But I don't think you can go wrong with any of the guys that I mentioned. Michael Pittman, don't think you can go wrong. Hollywood, he had drops early in his career, but he became a solid wide receiver one in my opinion. In Arizona, Calvin Ridley, he's just a physical specimen to me.
Brandon Ayuk is a free agency. Is a free agent.
Yeah, Ayuk is another guy that would come in and drastically improve the wide receiver room. So there are a couple of guys that you, no question, have to bring in to get your rookie quarterback, or at this point, your second-year guy to help that.
And you have to make sure you hit on somebody in the draft. I think that's going to be important as well.
Absolutely.
Like, whatever you have to do you got to do some kind of. You need to be sending niggas out to these schools, these wide receiver schools. You got those 2 guys from Washington. They'll probably be off the board by the time we pick. Got the receiver from Michigan, guys from LSU. But you need to try to hit on that day 2 pick for sure. If you're not going to make a splash in free agency at wide receiver, which I think you don't have a choice to do. But
I see Ruski asked, should we trade the 33rd pick for a productive wide receiver? It depends on what you classify. Give me some names on productive wide receivers that will go for a 33rd overall pick, and I'll tell you yes or no. Because I'm just gonna, just off rip, if I'm giving my answer, and Terrence, I would love to hear your feedback on this as well. But if I'm just giving my opinion, unfortunately, I just can't give up. I can't give up my 33rd overall pick for a nigga that's going to be a wide receiver. Like, I need a lower wide receiver 1 if I'm giving up pick over 33 overall. That's just me.
Nah, yeah, I would agree. I mean, because there's a lot of good wide receivers who were second-day picks. So if you know what you're doing, if you have that right scouting team, you can hit on a future wide receiver number 1, a future all-pro talent in the second round. So you have to be very strategic when it comes to moving that pick just for anybody.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We jump into some more. I want to hear y'all's feedback on this. This is something that I obtained that came out, I want to say last night, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe even 2 nights ago. Dylan, I'll be hitting that pen that you gave me. Sometimes the nights start running. That's like my sleep aid. But it was being alleged. Now, this was on Twitter. I can't remember who said it, but it was being alleged that Dave Tepper allegedly threw his drink on the fan because the fan was making fun of the injury that Mark Haynes sustained. We had get stretched off and everything. Are you calling facts or cap? Because for me, I think it's bullshit.
I seen it earlier today, and honestly, my response was, "Who gives a fuck?" Because if you want to be honest, the way we be at the games talking, if we would have been in a Chicago game and one of them would have got stretched, we would have been saying the same thing. Bring the fucking stretcher and get them off the field. Let's play ball. So realistically, who gives a fuck? That doesn't give you the right to throw a fucking drink on a fan. And Dylan, you right. Dave Tepper don't give a fuck about Marquise Haynes, nigga. Fucking Marquise Haynes. No disrespect to you as a man, but as a football player, it's Marquise Haynes. Dave Tepper, he don't gotta pay that nigga. He the least of his worries when it comes to the offseason, and you done been injured damn near the whole year. He don't give a fuck about Marquise Haynes. It was more of a fact that his pride was hurt, his ego was hurt, because he had to sit there and watch that shit product that he was solely responsible for. That's what made him throw the drink. And them niggas was chatting because they knew the owner was sitting right behind them. Who wouldn't? That's what it was. Nigga don't care about Marquise Haynes.
I totally agree. I think that whole shit is. And to be honest, if I'm in my own stadium, I'm not gonna lie. When I pull up the BOA nowadays, it feels like home. If I'm in my own stadium and the opposing owner is behind me, yeah, I'm capping my shit. I'm capping for sure. So
I heard that he said something about Nicole. That's what I heard. That was another story that I heard. He was talking about his wife.
Well, if that's the case, then he deserved to get thrown on him. Don't lie. Tampa got to stay on business.
I heard that it was a couple fuck yous, fuck this, fuck that. Like, I heard they was legit arguing. That's what I seen on Facebook. That they were legit arguing.
Oh, so they were beefing for it.
Yeah, I guess. But Dave just knew he had the upper hand because, one, you sitting up above the nigga. I already don't like the fact that you sitting behind me. And then your window open that So I mean, yeah.
Interesting. Let me see what I had here. Now I want to go back a little bit. We were talking about Dan Morgan, and we felt like it's just unfortunate that he just simply won't be able to further his progress. I guess his career progress with the Carolina Panthers, because I think that with me and you, I think that was the conclusion that one of us wanted, just based on the fact that he was working too close with the Scott Fitterer, and we that may rub off. I will say, however, after Scott Fitterer was fired, Dan Morgan immediately took over the day-to-day operating as a general manager, and he re-signed Steven Sullivan as well as Nick Thurman and Brian Ray, all to one-year deals. He also signed another practice squad guys to future deals, including kick returner Tariq Hill. I love those moves. I love the move to bring back Steven Sullivan. I love the move to bring back Nick Thurman and LeBron. Pretty cool. I don't harm. I don't mean no disrespect. He's not an impact player, but those other two guys, in my opinion, I'm a fan. I really, really like Steven Sullivan. I know he had the one bad drop on Sunday, but at 2-14, I mean, who really gives a fuck? Like you just said, Terrence, who cares? Because the season is completely wrapped. Now, if it was a play where it's a win and you get in and we're dropping passes like that, then it's different. But after what I had to suffer through watching Brian Burns all season, everybody could get shot bail if niggas still want me to feel like we got to pay Brian Burns. So, I still love Steven Sullivan. I think he can be a big part of what we have to do. And Nick Thurman over the last 5 weeks of the season, he's a dog. He's a dog, and he's for reps, in my opinion. So I'm excited to see if we're able to bring back Derrick Brown, or actually not even able to bring back, but he's still in the contract. I keep confusing myself, but I'm excited to see what him and Derrick Brown are able to do for a full season if he is able to win that job. That's the job beside there.
I mean, I'm happy with those moves. That still doesn't do enough for me to say Dan Morgan needs to stay. Or he can stay, but as far as that GM position, nah, I'm good on that. If he wants to stay, he can stay right where he is. Cool.
Yeah. Just be supportive.
Yeah, because that doesn't move the needle for me. So yeah, either way, he can't get that job.
Yeah, for sure.
Do we trade DB while he's so high value? No.
What was the question? Or what was the comment?
Do we trade DB while he's so high value?
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, you just can't keep getting rid of the core of your team.
Yeah.
Like, you're already going through the shit with Brian Burns where you don't know what you're going to do with him. Like, I mean, at a certain point, you just got to pay niggas and build around them. You got to pay DB. You got to pay a Frankie Luvu. Like,
did you see what he said the other day? They asked him about coming back or whatever in contract. I forget. I didn't even been back. Asked him.
Said he was scared. I seen something about he's seen a lot of guys getting injured. He was scared to get injured. Then I also seen him. He said he was like, if he has to go, then he's prepared to go, or some shit like that.
He said he was prepared to go, and they also asked him about the contract and everything like that. And he said, "Shit, I mean, they got more problems than me." He said they not worried about me. They got a lot bigger problems. And when you start speaking like that for a player,
they damn near already checked out, ain't it?
Yeah, it seems as though he's already gone. So I just want to mentally prepare fans right at this very moment. Just don't feel no type way if he's gone, because to me, he's been gone since week 8.
Yeah.
He's been gone since week 8. I see Shamik just put YGM can go. I think YGM is gone. As a matter of fact, I texted in our group chat. If you go look at his most recent Instagram post, I think that it's solidified that YGM is gone. To me, I don't like it. I somehow, some way became a YGM fan over this season, and I mean, I don't like the thing that if you pick up his 5th-year option or you do it gonna do. I think that it may benefit you in the long run. I don't like letting him walk right now after seeing him play his best. I mean, I just don't.
Yeah, C.J. Henderson's gone.
I have a list for us. I just want to. I just want you to say yes. Just want you to say yes or no. Unrestricted free agents. There's 21 of them. Yes or no? Or we bring guys back and let them walk? Okay. Brian Burns.
No.
Frankie Louisville.
Yes.
David Sharp.
No. Because I seen him on 2K and yeah, no.
Gabe Jackson.
No.
Justin McCray.
No.
DJ Chark.
No.
Laviska Shenault.
If it's between him or ISM, I want ISM.
Deshaun Williams.
He ain't getting no.
Deshaun Williams ain't do. I hate to say it, but Deshaun Williams didn't do a bitch ass.
Yeah. Is he bro that threw bro on Shaq Thompson leg, or that was other dude?
Shaq? No, I think that was Deshaun that did.
Yeah. He gotta go. Just off that alone.
Chris Wormley.
Who?
Chris Wormley, defensive end.
No.
Marquise.
No.
Torgos Matos.
Yeah, he could come back.
Kamu Grugier.
No.
Deion Jones.
Who?
Deion Jones.
No.
Tay Davis.
No.
C.J. Henderson.
I would bring CJ back as a backup. He wouldn't be a starter, but because CJ became a serviceable player down the stretch, him and Troy Hill.
And that's the next name on the list, Troy Hill.
I'll bring Troy Hill back. He's a great player. No.
Jeremy Chin.
Yes.
Dunk.
Yes. Yes.
And J.J. Jensen.
I mean, I could give a fuck less. I mean, I know he's been on the team the longest, but I could give a fuck less.
Thanks. And then we had the restricted free agents. There were three of them: Giovanni Rich, Steven Sullivan, who was already brought back, and then ISM is actually on the restricted free agent list. And then there's rights free agents: Raheem Black, LeBron, and Nick Herman. We saw LeBron already get brought back. Hopefully, I want to see Raheem back. I want to see ISM back. So hopefully, we need to do.
Shamik, you tripping, bro?
Say it again.
I said Shamik tripping.
Bro,
C.J. Henderson became a serviceable player. Like, as much as we shitted on him last year, when all of these corners went down, bro, and him and Troy Hill had to step in, like, they held up the back end of that defense.
Yes, they did. They did. I'm not gonna lie. They did, bro. You gotta remember.
Now,
the Carolina Panthers had a top 5 defense going into the team. So
yeah,
quarterbacks being hurt, somebody was doing the job.
Yeah. Now, if we gotta move them to create space for other guys we're gonna bring in who we think can be a little better, then yes, I don't need them niggas holding up no spot. But like, if this is what we're gonna roll with, Dante Jackson, J.C. Horn, then I don't have a problem bringing back Troy Hill or C.J. Henderson to rotate in, unless you planning on going to get a corner out of the draft who we think is gonna be solid. But I mean, other than that, I said if you gotta hold a spot, if they're taking up a space, then no. But the way this team has been operating over the past couple of years, I don't really trust them to go in the draft and get nothing good or bring in anything else off of free agency. So if that's the case, then I don't see a problem with those guys rotating in or out. But if they're holding up a spot for something better, then fuck them.
Yeah. For me, off of that list, I'll just point out the guys that I would like to come back. Definitely, I mean, everybody already knows Frankie Louisville. Laviska Shenault, I wouldn't be terribly mad at it, but I mean, his injury history and the problems that he suffers with from the health standpoint can be unbearable if you're not prepared. But I do think that he provides you with one of those elusive weapons that, Bryce Young is in need of. So he would probably make the list for me as well. YGM would make the list. Deion Jones would make the list. Troy Hill would make the list. If I had to pick between CJ and Troy Hill, I would probably go Troy Hill. And Jeremy Chin should come back. Depending on what Dunk is asking for, that's just part of guys. Dunk is a friend of the show. So I'm always going to show Dunk love because he be reciprocating it. Every time we see him, he be reciprocating. He be showing love. So I'm always going to say Dunk. And then, like you said, I really just don't give a fuck what they do with JJ Jackson. And then another one of those guys on the list that I would love to see come back. ISM got a lot more involved in the offense over the last month of the season, and every opportunity he got, he made the most of his of the opportunity. So I would love to see him come back for sure. Yes, Dunk, aka Sam, because we got two Dunks. Like obviously, Aaron Duncan from Unnecessary Bluntness, and then Dunk. I call him Dunk. That's his IG. Dunk on the man. No, not Dunk on the man. What's it? Dunk 42, Dunk _42,
yeah,
something like that.
Like that.
Yeah. There go my cousin talking about them damn Cowboys. See, I told you, that's why I put that on my Instagram the other day. I'm tired of Steelers fans and I'm tired of these Cowboys fans. Now they all chatting, everybody out the woodwork. Man, we don't want to hear that shit.
It would make me happy if the Cowboys got clipped by the Packers.
Yeah, I mean, but that's not.
Yeah, but I mean, it'll make me extremely excited.
Yeah. Blood, don't worry. We definitely gonna have we'll definitely have the live up tomorrow at 9 a.m. So you can go back and watch. Let me see, going through the comments. Nigga said, "Well, fourth in the cook." Oh. All right. Well, best of luck. They're going to Dallas. I mean, I think everybody knows that, but I just wanted to kind of re-emphasize that point that they are going to. So, you know, I will admit that they kind of get a little wicked when they go out there. When teams go to Dallas this season, they kind of get a little wicked. Dallas's problem is the fact that they got to go to the bench. So,
yeah.
Let me see. I think from the topics, this could potentially, and I just want to, if you don't already have enough trauma from this past season as a Carolina Panthers fan, I would like to add to that. I would like to present with more trauma because I had to see it, and so you got that. On Sunday, the Carolina Panthers lost to Baker Mayfield, he won that game and also clinched the division turn. CJ Stroud wins his division the night before the Carolina Panthers played. CJ Stroud, in which the Carolina Panthers chose Bryce Young over him. Christian McCaffrey has 2,000 yards on the season overall. The Bears solidified the number one pick. DJ Moore has over 1,300 yards receiving. And Steve Wilks has the number 2 scoring defense in the NFL. So, welcome to being a Carolina trauma. What do they say? Nightmare. Nightmare. That's what this organization is, like legitimately. Terrence, if you want to bring a couple people up again, just to, for the people that haven't been here already, you guys have missed, in my opinion, you guys have missed a great show. We had Aaron Duncan up a little bit earlier. We discussed a little bit about the current GM and head coaching search, as well as a couple of different topics with him. Then we fast forward and we dove into, who me and Terrence wanted to bring in and some of the names of free agents and things like that that we wanted to let walk or bring back. We didn't even really get into the game on Sunday. The game on Sunday, again, the Carolina Panthers, they had a streak. For as the second longest active streak with for games not being shut out, and unfortunately,
that shit ended down.
last week,
yeah.
And then we got shut out again the
Hey,
following week.
Hey Shamik, I sent you an invite. I don't know if you just don't want to get on that bitch, but
I believe Stroud going to the AFC Championship game. I believe if CJ Stroud didn't get stretched with that concussion and have a couple of other nicks and bruises, I believe he would still be very, very much alive in the MVP conversation.
I damn near don't even know if I believe CJ Stroud should win Offensive Rookie of the Year. You know who I think should win Offensive Rookie of the Year?
Serious.
Do you know who I think should win Offensive Rookie of the Year? And who?
I mean, you're gonna tell
Puka Nacua.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Puka snap. Puka crazy. Puka
Hey, listen to me. That shit is great. Hey, and don't get me wrong. Listen, round of applause for Puka.
Yeah.
Round of applause.
He crazy.
No,
Yeah.
But that
1,400, damn near 1,500 as a rookie.
Look, I know that system cold over there that McFay be cooking up, but for 1,400 though, I don't think that they thought that they was getting that out of him when they drafted him. I don't.
Put it like this, Shamik. When Puka was playing some of his best football in the beginning of the season, the Rams were still losing football games. When CJ Stroud was playing his best football, he was solidifying his
positions though. That's two
well,
different
you would have to give it to CJ off the strength of how hard it is to play quarterback.
I mean,
I hate to be
way,
biased.
I wouldn't be mad at either one getting it, but I'm saying we can't just sit here and act like CJ Stroud ran away with the bitch. That's it.
He did, and if he didn't get stretched out with that concussion, he missed 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, but when you get onto a primetime game, division and the very first play of the game is a 75-yard dot for a tutty, it's statement ball. Like, I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dog. Puka broke the record for rookie receptions and yards, but it was Carson Wentz throwing them the football in a late game, 4 o'clock window game with the 49ers nobody saw that. Nobody, and you know how media plays into this stuff. Like, if you all I'm gonna say is listen. I dig what you're saying. All I'm gonna say is I always give the upper hand when it comes to McVay and Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan likes to get cute. He likes to go away from what works. He likes to try to flex. McVay coaches. There's a reason why these boys is in the playoffs, and they were supposed to be in a rebuild. The Rams shouldn't even be there. And every time Kyle Shanahan see McVay always outcoaches him. It's always, why can't Kyle beat Sean McVay? It's always been that. It has always been that. Two, I think there's a lot of pressure on Brock Purdy to get that team to the Super Bowl. Just as much pressure as there is on Lamar to get them boys there. Remember, you had Debo going on an entire press conference all off season talking about if we had our guy. Yep. Now you got him, and now you got to give him over the bump. And we saw what Brock looked like in the big moment, the real big moment. The big moment, he had four picks.
Hey, left that nigga on a T-shirt.
Man, Only thing I got to say, teams will have to play absolutely perfect football in their best football to beat the 49ers, and I don't even think that's enough. I'll be honest. Because they're bullies, they're stacked in every aspect of the fucking football team. Like, legit.
They are.
They don't lack anywhere. So it's going to be very hard to beat.
Wait a minute. That back end, their DBs, they lost the safety. I can't pronounce his name, but they lost the safety a
something
minute
like
ago.
That. But I think
that back end's a little questionable.
When you have guys like Nick Bosa, Chase Young, Fred Warner.
Chase Young has been.
When you have guys,
he's a Jag right now.
Yeah, I mean, but when you have guys like that to put pressure on the quarterback, it does wonders for your defensive back.
All I'm gonna say is this: since that Ravens game on forward, the Rams and Matt Stafford have been hotter than fish grease. When Matt Stafford is healthy, that team look like they can compete with anybody. That's all I'm gonna say. They look like they can compete with anybody. And when it comes to division matchups, a lot of times the 49ers have blown through people because, I mean, if you look outside of the NFC West, if you look at teams like the Cowboys, nobody knows Kyle Shanahan. Nobody knows the 49ers like Sean McVay. It means something. It's why, remember a couple years ago, I think it was the last playoff run we had with Cam, we lost to the Saints 3 times in a row. I really feel like if we didn't draw the Saints in that wild card, we would have went to the division. But we lost to them 3 times in a row because don't nobody know you better than your division opponent. You don't want to have to. I promise you, Kyle Shanahan would much rather draw like the Eagles, much rather draw like the Bucs. He's not trying to see the Rams. Right. I'm telling you, if they see the Rams, it's gonna be a lot closer. And I'm gonna give. I don't think Brock Purdy got it in him.
But we can. Well, when that game
I don't think
happens,
he got it in him.
When that game happens, I give you the points too.
Yeah, I'm about
Okay, say that then.
I think you believe in them folks more than they believe in themselves.
Say that then. Say that then.
They gotta go to the Golden Gate Bridge. They know they're gonna be left on a t-shirt.
Yeah, yeah.
Look,
I ain't gonna lie. They
lot of house money they gotta play with. Or not a lot of house money, but a lot of pressure on that 49ers team because another thing too, that window is closing. Remember, we saw them 2020 against the Chiefs up 10. Kyle Shanahan should have still had his. These things like to manifest themselves in those moments. Same Kyle Shanahan that blew a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl. I don't care if you playing the Pop Warner Mighty. Nobody should come back from that. Not in professional football, not in the Super Bowl. This is the same Kyle Shanahan that can't get over the bump. If the game is close, these things start to play themselves out. Like, I'm just saying. If it doesn't, Purdy is such a on-time, on-target. He's like a next-level Tua. Like if when it's not working on offense, it does not work. He cannot make plays off script. He can't do it. I know he was running around scrambling against the motherfucking Cardinals and doing – it's the goddamn Cardinals, man. Be real. Be real with yourself. You don't take them serious like that. When they go up – I'm just saying, bro.
They took out two of the best teams in football.
Oh, God. Who they get? They got Dallas and they got somebody else, Philly. Yeah.
That Dallas one, as much as it pains me to say, it was early.
It was
early in the season.
Yeah,
it was early.
I mean, they still exposed Dallas in something that they still been having trouble with, stopping the run. You run the ball away from Michael Parsons, then you have a chance at beating Dallas. They exposed
Parsons is a podcaster. You know who he is. He's a podcaster. He's incredibly talented. Could be a Hall of Famer, but he's got his podcast equipment with him 24/7. So
I need to have that bitch with him throughout the playoffs so they get clipped.
What's the point? Because
what's the point? What
the nigga ain't dropped off not damn bit, and he been chatting.
He ain't dropped off, but he love to drop off in the big games. He goes silent. He goes radio silent. He's not disruptive in big games.
To me, it's hard when niggas got him like that right now.
I hear you, dog. Hey, look. Hey,
if niggas grab you like that right there,
I'm right there. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you, dog. I'm right there with you, dog. Right there with you. But if I had to say, I think that Cowboys game is going to be a lot more close, a little bit closer. All you got to do is make Mike McCarthy play situational football. That's it. He can't do it. Yeah. We talk about what happened to the Lions and how they got jobbed. The Lions shouldn't even have had the ball because the Goff threw a pick and Dak and company had the ball with 150 left at midfield. And somehow you still gave.
That's what I tried to tell Tavian and JJ, and they tried to make me feel like a jackass.
No.
Because I told them Mike McCarthy mismanaged that game because
he mismanages
the Lions was not supposed to even get the fucking ball back, and they made me feel like a jackass, like I didn't know what I was talking about.
I did.
They were not supposed to get the ball back in that game, dog. They wasn't supposed to get the ball back in that game.
Was not supposed to get the fucking ball back
at all.
If you think about it. Now, the Lions showed that Dallas can be battle-tested at home, and they should have won that game. Now, tell me what the fuck Green Bay went and done to the Lions on fucking Thanksgiving.
But don't tell me what a team did against another team that did against me. You know, I'm
True.
yeah,
And I'm gonna also give you that Packers defense is bad, especially that back end. It's atrocious. It's bad.
Let me ask you a question. Realistically, who's guarding CD Lamb?
No,
it's gonna be Jair.
I think that Dallas should win the game. But when you got just a couple niggas who really don't give a fuck and don't really have nothing to lose, when Dallas has everything to lose when it comes to they've always had one of the best records in the league. They some way found a way to get home field advantage or play a couple games at home. This is everything that they want. They put Jimmy Johnson in a ring of honor. They have everything to lose.
This is the season.
They have
everything
to lose. And so when you got a Packers team who really like kind of snuck in there, and this is all it takes. When teams start to get hot at the back end of the season, carrying
Jordan Love
momentum into the playoffs, like that shit is something that's this is not going to be an easy game for them.
And I'm going to give you something else. They're going to have a run game because I don't know if you just watched Aaron Jones, but he's missed a lot of the season. He looks real fresh.
He looks
man.
fresh.
And
he looks healthy. He looks fresh.
And they didn't look. The Bears was one of the hottest defenses in the last month of the season. A lot of reason why the whole Justin Fields thing, which is something we got to talk about because we low key are attached to that decision-making process because we gave them the number one pick. We ensured it. They spun the block and beat us on Thursday night, and then we carried the rest of the torch. But they ran the ball against that defense. Against the Montez Sweat. They bullied them and drugged them up and down that field. They did, dog.
They did it they did it so well that the commentators were perplexed.
Yeah.
You don't really see a defense like this give up 100+ yards. And yeah, they were toting that motherfucker for sure.
They was. So Dylan just asked who the season MVPs, offense, defense, and special teams.
We're going to save that for when we come back. After the Super Bowl, we come back, we're going to do our award ceremony. But if you want to give yours, then by all means do so.
You talking about for the team?
I guess.
Panthers? So I'll give you that, and I got to clear up my Tepper comment about why we can't put too much like blame on him or whatever. I'm gonna clear that up if y'all want to take a walk with me.
Wait, before we do that, for Ruski, because he asked earlier too. Give me a Super Bowl prediction.
I have the Ravens and the Niners. I know that's more of a I feel like it's more of a standard pick, but I think those are the two best teams in football right now.
I got Ravens, Cowboys. I think the Cowboys is gonna make it. I do. I really think. I think from where we saw them at the beginning of the year, and granted, they lost the Miami game. They shouldn't have lost to Miami, but it wasn't. They lost because you can't stop Tyreek Hill in the 2 minute. That's basically why they lost. He's too quick. It's too easy to get the ball out fast and get to him. They just dot all the way down the field. And then I know they played close to the Lions, but I think what they have going on with the home field and then the factor that they played the 49ers, they have a book on them now. There's a book out on them. I think that in a close game, I don't know why, but I'm going to give it to the Cowboys. I think it's Ravens-Cowboys.
Unfortunately, I'm going to go with the Ravens as well. And for me, I'm probably going Niners as well. Like you said, kind of standard pick. But
Dolphins are not beating KC.
I don't think so.
I don't know about that. I just don't know how I feel about about Dallas having to play the 49ers in San Francisco, bro.
Like I said, I don't think the 49ers is going. Me personally, I think the 49ers is the upset, that divisional upset. I think that's the one that everybody's going to be like, oh, shit. A lot of people trying to pass that off on the Ravens.
To even get to that point, the Rams have to go to Detroit, and they got to clip Detroit.
They don't have – okay. So walk with me once again. So they lost Sam Laporta, which is big, man. That tight end mismatch that they had, and you know how Goff operates. Goff needs a tight end. When you give him a tight end, he's a lot different. They lost probably the most important piece of that offense. With the way Sam Laporta was eating on Dallas, I'm talking it was food all over the place.
He sold my parlay.
And when he did, I had a parlay on that game too. But the way they need Sam Laporta to kind of function and operate, it's a big part of Ben Johnson's play action scheme. It's that tight end spot is very important. They nailed that pick. He's one of the best rookie tight ends the league has ever seen. They already comparing him to such and such. And I've seen him in enough games. I kind of buy the stock in the hype. They lost him, and I'm sorry. If I had to do a coaching mismatch, I'm taking Sean McVay and Raheem Morris over Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson. I am. And I'm going to also buy the stock in Stafford built Ford Field. And he coming back to stand on business. I'm going to take that too. I don't think he going to I think he coming home to stand on business for real. I think that if that game is close, which it probably will be, I don't think the Lions is getting past wild card.
Ben Johnson to be honest, be your next head coach. So
yeah,
I don't really know how I feel about that. I love what he does, X's and O's wise, but he also benefits from a culture setter like Dan Campbell. He gets to just look at his play sheet and just worry about his side of the football. You come into the Panthers situation, your scope of responsibility, your area of responsibility is going to be so much deeper than X's and O's. Our problems are so much deeper than X's and O's. The dude y'all had up here earlier, he really spoke on that. Now, I think the no-brainer pick has to be Harbaugh, because if you look at Harbaugh's success wherever he's gone, he's one of the few coaches, a la Pete Carroll, Jimmy Johnson, who's had success at both levels. And he's always had a elite staff with him, no matter where he's at. He has a great coaching tree as well.
Well, so Dave Tepper don't want him because he don't want to give that much power to him, allegedly.
And to clear up my Tepper comment, the reason of the heat. Now, JJ, you preach because Matt Rule and Frank Wright were hired on Tepper's dime. That was his pick all the way through. Those are the guys that he wanted. But imagine yourself as Dave Tepper, and you have Matt Rule, and now what take the knowledge that you know about Matt Rule and the knowledge that you know about Frank Wright. You get into them rooms, they say he's already in there talking about X's and O's and wants to hear the feedback. I don't think that they could sell me a pack of gum, for real. They don't strike me. I think that they didn't have the right vision or the right mindset enough for Tepper to want to step back. I think that also plays a lot into that too. I don't think that they
can I ask a question? Not off. If that's the case, then why the fuck are you bringing them in?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Well, because so that's also true as well. And I'm not saying it as if he just never believed in it. But you take the Matt Rule tenure, for instance. I mean, that thing went sour pretty damn fast. Like I know he had 2 seasons, but were any of the seasons competitive? Were we ever competitive at any point? In the Matt Rule team, were we ever competitive? If you look at how he managed the quarterback situation, I'm not saying that I don't blame, or I'm not saying that I don't blame him for overstepping, but I can see how he did it. And then when you bring in Frank ain't no Frank. I mean, Frank felt like to me Frank was surprised that he got hired. I remember watching the interview in-house. Remember when they went to his house?
How the hell is that not Dave Tepper?
Yeah.
How's all
I'm not absolving him of all blame, but what I am saying is when you start to know these people, he's working with them week to week, day to day. When you start to see the incompetence, it leaves the door open to overstep. That's part of the reason why, the rumors, with Jim Harbaugh, he doesn't want to relinquish that power. But you gotta realize, they are incompetent. We saw it, and when there's incompetency and you're the owner and your name is on the check, he's gonna step in. Like he's gonna step in, and that
this could have been avoided though. You know how all of that could have been avoided.
Tell me.
When you hire someone that's a head of football operations and you don't got to deal with that shit because you're not a football guy, like you told us when you first bought the team.
Yep. Absolutely. So, and we should have saw the writing on the wall. I saw the writing on the wall with Frank. I knew it was never going to work with Frank when you had David Tepper coming out in the media and talking about how we could go cheap at skill position. That's the biggest red flag I've ever heard, ever. I don't think that I'm being a revisionist here. I've never heard of we have a quarterback that's so good that we could go cheap at skill position. I've never heard of that.
To me, it's a problem to me that wasn't a red flag to me when I heard it. Like it's a problem to me because now when I go back and look at that specific press conference, it's just like, yo, what is this nigga talking about? Like, what is he talking about?
Yeah, and I'm sitting there listening to it, and I'm like, you think about it. I watched this Rams video, this draft, when they drafted Puka Nacua, and the GM and the head coach and the whole brains of the operation is in there. Owner wasn't. Big green flag. The owner wasn't. He just signs the check. But either way, the thing.
And guess what our owner got? Our owner bitch picking up the phone trying to straight a deal.
Look, I'm right there with you.
Right there.
But
we shut everything down right there. That's what we got to do.
What struck me was the way that the GMs were selling the head coach on the pick. They were set like it was as if Sean McVay said, "This is my vision. Y'all go make it happen." Then they got back to Sean McVay, and then they started talking. I think that's a big problem too. What was the vision? And y'all gotta tell me, what do you believe the vision was for the team for Frank Reich? Because now as I look at the offensive side of the ball and the receiving core, we had no over the top guys. We had no legitimate one at tight end. And we really had big question marks in the run game because our offensive line was a downhill run style, and we signed a zone running back. Because you look at when we put Chuba back there, Chuba's full speed on the handoff. When you give it to Miles, Miles is trying to stretch the line like a Le'Veon Bell. So the concept was off. They had to tell Miles, hey, you got to get downhill. We're hitting the hole. We're not bouncing it. You have to hit the hole. So, like, the whole concept and the whole vision, and then from the Matt Rule era, I
think what the vision was, they tried to make more of a explosive, flashy offense.
How? With no speed guys.
Listen, because they completely went away from what made us successful last year when Steve Wilkes took over, which was power running, running between the tackles, very standard power running offense. But when you go and add a guy, a bounce back like Miles Sanders, when you go get a receiver like DJ Chark, who's supposed to be a deep threat receiver, when you have Terrace Marshall, who we all thought would be the number one receiver, who's supposed to be a deep threat receiver, when you sign a tight end like Hayden Hurst, who was a receiving tight end, they tried, based off of those signings, it tried to be more of a pass-heavy, move the ball around type offense. But as we came to realize, that shit just didn't happen. Like, niggas just didn't live up to what they was bought in for.
We took Corbett had an injury and Bozeman had injuries to start the year out. I don't know if y'all remember them first two drives in the Atlanta game, but I was a little excited. I'm not going to lie. I was a little happy. Them first two drives, it was looking like how it was supposed to be looking. Mingo got a Mingo, Hurst, Sanders was hitting for pops. Chark was catching the ball. It feels like everything that Fritter did was just a miss. Yeah. Everything. And I mean, like there was not a single thing that worked. Everything fell apart.
Yeah, and everything. I mean, we ate that shit up during the offseason.
We did.
Like, as FPFO, we definitely ate that shit up because we was at training camp gassed the fuck up based off of what we seen from DJ Chark. And
shirts and shoulder pads. Hey, look, them highlights.
Yeah, and I want.
Hey, look, I was right there with you.
I want to put hands on that nigga for selling us such a false dream.
Oh my God.
Because I mean, you would have thought this nigga was on Sports Center top 10.
CJ
making crazy.
Henderson has to go too. He has to go, brother. I hear what you saying. I hear what y'all saying, talking about he held up the defense for those 2 or 3 games or whatever. Listen, that's a former #1 pick, first round pick. The clock is up on him. This was the season that if you wanted to stake your claim at any position, to be honest, that we took so many injuries on defense, especially in the secondary. This was the season to be like, hey, look, how hard is it to be better than Dante Jackson? Be honest with me.
Can he not be a rotational player? I've been wanting Dante Jackson to be gone.
Key fob needs to go. You telling me, like, how hard is it to be a rotational player? I mean, look, and that's what I'm saying. We need to bring in a coach that's going to look at guys like that and be like, bro, you got to go.
Yeah.
Because if you ain't going shit, you got to get off the pot.
I mean, I want a coach like that, but when that coach get to looking at what the fuck he got to go get niggas with, when he look and see I only got a day 2 pick, and I mean, when he start looking at shit like that, it's like, I might gotta keep some of you sorry motherfuckers, because I know that it's about to be a lot of niggas that's probably gonna get injured once again.
Hey,
like
we and that's what I'm saying. Like, we can't be like, oh, we have to bring in someone who can evaluate talent. Like, yeah, I mean, like legit. Like, I'm looking at you, and you cannot play for this team. I don't care if I have to go to NAIA football. I don't care if I got to go to JUCO levels. I don't care if I got to get in the minute. You cannot be on this team anymore. Like, you specifically, Dante Jackson, you got to go. I'm almost like done with JC Horn. Listen, I was a big fan of Brian Burns, brother. You pack your stuff. I'ma salute you. You got to go. The only
two people top dollar still.
No.
The nigga
said, and I'm gonna let you have it, bro, because I was trying to defend Brian Burns, and I told y'all a piece of this. I'm right. I told y'all he was mailing it in this season because he didn't get his money, and y'all like he playing bad. He played bad, but part of it was he was mailing it. And he got so hurt at the end of it that C.J. Beathard was breaking the outside contain and giving him a dead leg towards the end of the season.
Thing is, it was like, okay, I understand that you're upset that you didn't get your money, but I was along the side that even if you didn't get your money, nigga, if you're gonna give us half-ass effort, then don't even fucking suit up, because you could tell
not missing them game checks,
huh?
Not missing them game checks. You don't remember the Cam Newton?
Well, I mean,
when they asked him when did he know that the NFL was real, he was like, after they lost to the Cardinals, he was so down and out. He checked his bank account, his Wells Fargo, that Monday morning, $750K. Hey, I'm missing them game checks. No, sir. I'm going to be out there. And if I got to be a Jag, I'm a Jag. And I'm on a 2-15 team. How much of an effect could Brian Burns have had in these losses?
See, we don't need
in these 15 losses?
That's not the mentality we need. I need a nigga that's going to get money. You want to be one of the highest paid defensive ends in the NFL, but you're giving me 8 sacks with a couple of tackles with games that have 0 on your resume. Like,
hey, look, I'm right there with you. That's why I say he's got to go. He's probably going to go somewhere and be effective. The guys that we got to keep is Derrick Brown and Frankie Louvu. Those 2 guys can't go. We can't lose them. We can't lose Louvu. He's too valuable to a linebacking core that we don't have. I mean, you see Shaq Thompson coming back next year? He was already
cooked. Not after the way he was chatting about Dave Tepper, or not really chatting about him, but talking about you can't do that, knowing how sensitive Dave Tepper's ego be. He's not even trying to come back for real.
Throw a drink in your face. You better get it. Hey, you're not talking to Suge Knight like that. He running around like he pop. He throwing drinks in people's faces and walking off. And they finding him like
I'll beat the fuck out of Dave Tepper.
I bet he throw a drink in your face first.
He will. He
I
probably
bet
will.
he throw a drink in your
He probably
face.
will.
First, y'all talking about, oh, I heard he was talking about Nicole. Hey, look, I ain't gonna talk about another man's wife, all right? But I saw like the pre-draft process. She was a little too all up on CJ. I ain't like all
Hey,
that.
I ain't gonna lie. That's my theory about why Cam had to go.
I
That's
me
my theory on why
personally,
Cam had to go.
she was all up in the videos. Like Suge said about PD, you want to come to death row? You don't want your guy? She all up in the videos. Why you at practice out evaluating offensive line talent? I don't need you out here any kind of eye candy. These dudes need to be hitting the sled, hitting the ladders, catching the passes on the jug machine. Passing. I don't
You
need
see
you
the
out
way
here.
she damn near topped Bryce off when he got out of that damn SUV when he got to Charlotte.
Crazy.
I
was like, oh,
already
okay.
knew shit was about to go downhill from there.
Oh, okay. So, all in all, hey, look, shout out to y'all, bro, because for y'all to keep this pod going from training camp to today, and the way that the season went, bro, this pod, y'all gonna be live next year from the playoffs, man. Look, and to end my little piece and whatever, I really feel like with the fresh start that we have and the way that the division's going, we probably, depending on what Atlanta does, Atlanta has a lot of interesting pieces. They just got to get the right. They're a head coach and quarterback away. I feel like they got a lot of talent. That defense is still legit. Defenses suffer when offenses can't score. They look at the Jets. Jets got a legit defense. They talking about they fell off. Well, when your offense is putting up 9 points, I mean, you're gonna eventually let go of the rope. I don't like what's going on in Tampa Bay. I still think that the Saints, I mean, if they bring back Dennis Allen after what Jameis did, that lets you know right there. They're not playing for him and they're not gonna play for him. I think if we get the right head coach and the right GM in this division, we're still not far off. And I love the fact that we got a fresh start. This year hurt my soul. I almost hit the fan portal. I'm not gonna lie, but I do believe I almost hit the bro. You talked about that, and I was like, dog, I've never felt this way. I've never felt this way. But to be honest with you, if we get the right guy in there, we gotta get the right head coach. Y'all spoke on it earlier. Is it X's and O's play scheme, or is it the culture guy? We gotta get a culture guy in here. We just got to. We got a lot of young guys on this team. We don't have no OGs in the locker room. I heard ping pong tables smacking all season, dog. All season.
And the one that really pissed me off the most, I think, is the video where they asked him Kim Aquanu about his season, and he's smiling, and the ping pong ball is going back and forth in the back of your headphones. I almost wanted to drive the 800 Met Street and did something that got me locked up for life.
He's done, bro. That's not coaching, dog. That's not coaching, dog. That
For
first
sure.
year might have been fool's gold, but he's got to go to guard. And
See,
that 33rd pick,
I tried to tell niggas that wasn't coaching. I tried to tell them
it's not coaching.
The shit
bro.
that he
you won't regress like that.
The shit that he was missing on was just from an effort standpoint. I don't want to say talent, but it was damn near from a talent standpoint as well.
Well, last season we kind of we came into this season a little high on our own supply, bro. We was smoking our own shit. We won them last 6 games and shit.
Shamik, we had analysts and experts telling us that Ikem Ekwonu was going to be an All-Pro this year.
It looked like it last year. I'm not gonna hold you. It looked like he was on that trajectory. I thought we had the bro. One of the only things and one of the biggest reasons why I felt like Bryce could work, and I feel like people got it fucked up when it come to Bryce, because even if we should have CJ Stroud and we don't, we have Bryce. Bryce ain't this fucking bad. First of all, I think that's the biggest point that we missing. He's not this fucking bad. Will we be in the playoffs if he was in a better situation? Would he look as good as CJ Stroud if he had more around him? I don't know, but it shouldn't fucking look like this. You dig what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't. He's not a fucking jag. This dude was able to be the first overall pick at his size and stature. Bro, you've seen him play at Alabama. Like, you know what he's capable of, dog. Like,
well,
I thought he was one of the – he is. I thought he got sacked, 69 times this year? 66?
Yeah, all
Fourth
that
most
shit
ever in a single season?
that shit won't even matter if Ick stay at left
That's
tackle
what I'm
because the
saying.
nigga he'll be dead by the end of next season.
Yeah. On a shirt. Seeing how they, hey, look, y'all watch Bills Bengals last year. I watched it live. I was like, cuz, they ain't cut to the field in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You don't think that couldn't be Bryce? They already don't give him the whistle. They already don't give him the whistle. They like, hey, young pup, you ain't even got enough hair and enough skin in the game to get the whistle.
Crazy.
This
it
fat.
took me a while to register what you was talking about.
Bro, y'all remember that game? They didn't cut to the field for 30 minutes, dog.
I lost my damn fantasy championship out that game, so never mind.
30 minutes, dog. I was texting people like, cuz, is he dead? For real. This is,
yes.
I put that on my son. I was like, yo, what happened down there?
Nah, I stayed up legit all night just trying to figure out if bro was good. Legit all night, bro.
Dog,
like
they brought the coaches, Zach Taylor and McDermott, to midfield talking about, y'all still want to play? Huh?
Like,
good. Bro,
good.
JJ, where'd you go to school?
What, college?
High school?
Oh, high school?
No, high school?
No,
yeah.
DH Conley.
I went to Conley too. Bro, when I played, I watched people get stretched, cuz. I was on kickoff with somebody, and we going down the field. My senior year, I'll never forget it. Bro ran first wall of defense, bro. We on kickoff. First, dude stretched him. He stopped breathing. White dude, purple on the field. I never saw somebody get their face mask unscrewed. I seen it happen before on the field, dog. Seen it. Cuz that could be Bryce. His size, his stature. Look, we got to address that left tackle spot. No bullshit. That's the 33rd pick. Dante Jackson, you got to go. There's a white corner named Cooper DeJean. If he falls to 33, we got to consider that.
I seen bro highlights the other day.
He's like that. He's like that.
I don't mean no harm, but
Eagles got a white DB, and you see they the worst defense in the league right now.
Not a finish. I don't mean no harm, but if it's been numerous of y'all before and ain't not nailed,
hold on, wait now.
For the NFL level,
so we got to err alongside the history.
Unfortunately,
what the fuck?
Don't do that. Don't do that, because y'all done had. Well, maybe DB, okay, not corner, but DB. We done had Jason Sehorn. He was cold for the Giants. You done had John Lynch, okay? They usually play safety because they can't, corner is a different kind of.
And that's exactly what his position
is.
Hey, look,
Exactly.
I'm just saying. Dante Jackson ain't no better than Cuz.
Yeah.
I don't even remember Dante Jackson at
all the support us giving it the whole season.
Shamik, if we go and get a
serious,
defense, unfortunately, if he ain't got no melanin in his skin, I might hang up my jersey.
I don't know why. I do. I don't know why.
I mean, at this point,
on his highlights and tell me that Dante Jackson got a single better highlight. Tell me. Go watch it tonight.
Bad, bro. And I don't even want to get into it because Terrence already be on my top about it. Dante did not that bad.
And he's hurt every third game, dog. He's hurt every
time he gets
quarters.
Every 12
burnt, quarters he's hurt.
Every time he gets burnt or every time he gets embarrassed, he's fucking hurt. Because it's the Eagles.
Every time. Remember the Dallas game? He dropped a pick in the end zone? How you hurt? You dropped a pick. Now you hurt? He did that Chicago game. He dropped like 2. Now you hurt? Every time, cuz. Get him out of here.
I've been saying this for 2 years, but then I'm the bad guy. Because I think he tore his ACL based off of ego thing.
And I'm going
to go out there and act like you hurt. You want to play like you hurt because Terry McLaurin dropped a $150 on you damn near. Now your ACL fucked.
Clinic. Route school on that boy. And that's another reason why I want Harbaugh or Vrabel for that matter. I want guys that's going to come up in training camp that's like, look, you, get your shit. Grab your playbook, go hit the fucking office. Dead ass, bro. Like, you can't play here. You cannot play here. That's who we need. Y'all talking about Juan Gross Matos. Get him out of here, dog. DJ Johnson, we just get out of here. I don't want Dan Morgan. Anybody that was really associated with last year, bro, front office and roster wise, bro, 53-man roster, what you carry, like 72 at a time with practice squad, bro. We need to go into this draft process, free agency, whole nine, with probably like 40 players, dog. 15, 16 players got to go off rip. Some of them starters, dog. Some of them starters. LV5, you look like Jaquise. You got to go, dog. And you won't even be on the field, son. You won't even be on the field.
Hey,
Terrence Marshall Jr., your time is up, son.
That's bro.
You got to go.
Nah, that's gang,
Listen,
man.
that's bro.
I fuck with Cuz. I feel like he was our poor man's Deebo Samuel. Shit, he was running the ball better than Miles Sanders at one point. Miles Sanders, you got to go. Cuz was mad because the fans booing. They booing because you sorry. Like,
Yeah,
they should have told him turn in this key fob right there. What are you talking about? Like, a lot of these guys got to go. Hayden Hurst, they said you had a concussion so bad, like, you forgot part of your life, son. It's over.
You got to go.
You got to go. Adam Thielen, I know you gave us the tread on them tires is done. I don't know if y'all saw him last game against the Bucs, but I'm just saying, dog. A lot of these guys got to go. Y'all talking about Mike Evans' cousin. Mike Evans is like 35. He going to a contender. He not coming to a rebuild. He not coming to this. No way. Like,
hey, well, man, Shamik, we appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you rocking out with us all season, bro. No cap. Like,
appreciate y'all, man.
Always joining on the lives and giving your insight and shit. We're like we said, we're gonna take this break for about a month, but definitely appreciate you showing love throughout the whole season, bro. Real shit.
When the Rams make the NFC when the Rams beat the Lions, you'll actually hear from me. If y'all putting money on the game, it's Rams money line. At least take them points.
Okay,
at least take them points.
We can do whatever you want. I'll give
at
you
least take them points.
Give you 11. I'll give you 11. Whatever you want to.
You talking? Come on now. Don't do that.
You got my
Don't
D.
do that.
You got my.
Don't do that. Don't do that. And Terrence, hey, look, you still running from Madden, bro. You got your little win and you ran.
How am I running from a guy?
Hey, bro, get back outside. What, you just don't have a game no more?
No, I legit.
He won on some fluke shit. I ain't seen him in months, weeks.
I legit just installed the game back, legit, because I had Warzone downloaded and 2K. You know that white Xbox don't hold no damn space on that bitch. You know
Hell
that's
nah.
not cap.
Hell nah. I'm gonna holler at y'all.
All right, man.
Bro, man. Well, man, I think that's gonna be a wrap, bro. Appreciate everybody that contributed in the comments. Huge shout out to Dunk for getting on and sharing some insight. Huge shout out to Shamik for getting on and sharing some insight. Greatly appreciate you guys and rocking with us this whole season, man. Again, this is our last episode of the season. We're going to be taking about a month break. We'll come back after the Super Bowl, but we are going to take this time to kind of realign, refocus, figure out how we make things better, kick back.
And we're going to be in Vegas next year.
Meet us in Vegas, man. Meet us in Vegas next year for shit show. Go ahead and start mentally preparing, man. Come fuck with us when we go on road. It's legendary. It's legendary, no cap, and it's documented. If you don't already, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel at the G2S Network. I'm currently live on YouTube. Appreciate Dusky for rocking out with us the whole night. Shout out to you. And yeah, man. Yeah, we're going to upload this full live onto YouTube. So if you came in a little bit late, you'll be able to catch the full thing. It still will be on the Instagram as well. And when we come back, we'll give you guys our award ceremony for, the Carolina Panthers, and got a couple of other special things on the horizon. So appreciate y'all rocking with us for the whole year, man. Terrence, what would you like to say to the people, man?
I don't really have much to say. We appreciate the support. We appreciate the love. I know it was a tough season to stay tuned into. It was tough for us as well. Like legit, definitely tough for us. Continuing to put out content week after week after a bullshit performance from the team, but we still found ways to enjoy it. So appreciate y'all for continuing to support. The real reason we had to keep going, because we know we had an obligation to y'all. So appreciate that. And like, we're gonna take a break, but we're definitely gonna still be pushing stuff out. Definitely still gonna be getting videos and clips and stuff. So just make sure you're following on all platforms to still see those videos and things like that. And stay tuned, man. It won't be like this for forever. Next season, hopefully it'll be a turnaround, but we'll see. We'll see.
You've seen the opponent just like
Yeah,
I
I mean,
nigga.
we're getting blasted.
We're gonna have the same tonality 365 days from today. Love y'all though.